You know the snow will slowly melt, but my love will never die.
The Bradley sisters, Diamond and Tionda Bradley, missing for 24 years. 2021. When Tracy Bradley returned home from work on the morning of July 6, 2001, instead of being greeted by her two young daughters, Tionda and Diamond, she said she was met with silence. On the back of the couch inside the apartment on Chicago's South Side, there was a note. Allegedly written by Tracy's 10-year-old daughter, Tionda. The note claimed she and Diamond, her 3-year-old sister, had gone to the store and to a school playground nearby. But there was something off about the note. Family members told Dateline the spelling and grammar seemed too perfect and advanced for a girl Tionda's age. They added it was also not like Tionda to leave a note, instead she would have just called her mother. The sisters were gone. It's been 20 years since Chicago launched what investigators say may be the city's largest missing persons investigation and longest continuous searches conducted nationwide. And there is still no sign of the girls. We're still in limbo, the girls' great-aunt Sheila Bradley Smith told Dateline. Nobody has said anything. Nobody has been arrested. Nothing. But the girls are still gone. Sheila has been the family spokesperson for the past 20 years. She created and manages several Facebook accounts, including Missing Diamond and Tionda Bradley, and helped find Tionda and Diamond Bradley, in an effort to find answers. This week, to mark the 20th anniversary of the Bradley sisters' disappearance, the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children released new age progression photos of what they might look like today. Tionda would now be 30 years old and Diamond would be 23. It's hard to think of those girls as adults, Sheila said. But that's who we're looking for now. We're not looking for children. We're looking for adults, or remains. Sheila and other family members have spent the past 2 decades searching for clues, following leads, posting flyers, holding vigils, all with the hope of one day finding the girls. I get so consumed in trying to find the girls that it sometimes still feels like it's 2001 again, Sheila said. It's like no time has passed and we're right back there on that July day when they disappeared. When the girls went missing on July 6, 2001, Tionda and Diamond were living with their mother and 2 sisters, Victoria, then 9, and Rita, then 12, in the Lake Grove Village Apartments complex on the south side of Chicago. Several family members lived in the area, so they took turns caring for one another's kids. Tionda and Diamond often split their time between their mother's apartment and their grandmother's apartment in the Robert Taylor Homes, a public housing project in the Bronzeville neighborhood. According to an investigation conducted by the FBI and the Chicago Police Department, the girl's mother, Tracy Bradley, left the apartment for work around 6 a.m. She gave Tionda and Diamond strict instructions to not let anyone inside. Her other children, Victoria and Rita, had gone to their grandmother's house the night before. When Tracy returned home around 11 a.m., the girls were gone and she said she found a note stating they had walked to the store and school playground nearby. The girl's great-aunt Sheila told Dateline she believes Tionda wrote the note, but with help from someone she trusted. The person who took the girls was right there beside her, telling her exactly what to write, Sheila said. She was being coached. Their disappearance sparked a massive search. Hundreds of Chicago police, federal law enforcement officers and civilian volunteers spent days and weeks searching the streets, sewers, abandoned factories and buildings. They interviewed dozens of people and nearly 100 registered sex offenders. But their efforts were unsuccessful. The Chicago Police Department is the lead agency in the case and is being assisted by the FBI. Deputy Director Tom Ahern of Chicago PD's News Affairs Department released a statement to Dateline saying the investigation remains open and that investigators continue to follow up on tips when they're received. He added there are no new leads. The FBI also continues to investigate the girls' disappearance in coordination with the Chicago Police Department. We have been working to bring the Bradley sisters home for 20 years, making it one of the longest continuous searches conducted nationwide, Special Agent Siobhan Johnson told Dateline. The FBI never stops working with local law enforcement to bring missing children home, whether it has been days or years. Several persons of interest have been questioned over the years, but a specific suspect has not been named in the girls' disappearance. Authorities would not say if there are any suspects at this time. The girls' family believes they were taken by somebody they knew and who had access to them. This is not a case of stranger danger, Sheila told Dateline. They knew to be suspicious of strangers. It was somebody they knew, somebody they trusted. Last week, to mark the 20 years since the girl's disappearance, relatives gathered on July 6 on Chicago's South Side for two vigils where they released balloons and prayed for answers. A small group of family members initially gathered at a pedestrian bridge, near the apartment where the girls lived at the time with their mother. Someone took Tionda and Diamond Bradley, Sheila told reporters at the event. Everybody knows Tionda and Diamond didn't just vanish. It's time to break the silence. The group walked the pedestrian overpass to Lake Michigan, chanting "We love you Diamond and Tionda" as they released 20 balloons, pink for the girls, white for God's divine love and emerald for the 20th anniversary, Sheila told Dateline. A second vigil was held later that day at Robert Taylor Park, where Tionda and Diamond used to visit their grandmother and take dance and gymnastics classes. Despite the 90-degree heat, more than 50 relatives, including the girl's mother, sisters, aunts, great-aunt and cousins, donned t-shirts and buttons with the girls' faces on them, and clasped hands as they prayed. "We have to keep them in the public eye, in the news, and hope it breaks through," the girl's mother Tracy Bradley told reporters at the vigil. "We have to keep hope alive." Tracy told NBC Chicago that she believes her daughters were victims of a crime. The family has hired a private investigator to aid in their search and is urging anyone with information to come forward. While dedicating her time and resources to finding her nieces for the past 20 years, the girl's great-aunt has become an advocate for other missing children, and has even helped locate some of them, bringing some amount of closure to their families. "It gives me peace to know I'm helping somebody because I know exactly what they are going through," Sheila said. "At times, I feel defeated and ask myself, why can't I find other missing children, but not my girls? But I think our time is coming soon. We'll find them." Sheila told Dateline she knows the search now is either for Tionda and Diamond as adults, or their remains. But they'll always be little girls in her mind, each with her own unique personality. Tionda was a sassy and quick-witted 10-year-old who knew phone numbers by heart and would call her great-aunt just to say hey. She was a little mama to her sister Diamond and was always entertaining others with her dancing. "She was always dancing, no matter where we'd be," Sheila told Dateline. "I'd tell her, 'Dance for me baby,' and she'd dance and dance." Diamond, meanwhile, was a quiet, shy, laid-back little girl with a sweet smile, Sheila said. She recalls being at her brother's funeral just months before the girl's disappearance. As she watched Tionda dance, Diamond would peek around the corner at her with a shy smile. It would be the last time Sheila saw her great-nieces. "I'm not sure that they're out there alive," Sheila told Dateline. "But we still hold on to hope." "You have to have hope," Sheila said. "The important thing is that the girls are not forgotten." She remembers looking at missing children on milk cartons when she was young and thinking how awful for their families. But then she forgot about the face on the carton and went about her life. Until she received the newspaper not long after her niece's disappearance. And there, in black and white, just like the child on the milk carton, were the faces of her own loved ones. "You never think it could happen to you, but it can," Sheila said, adding one last plea. "Please, just give us our babies. Whether they're grown or their remains, we just want our babies back." Anyone with information about Tionda and Diamond's case is asked to contact the Chicago Police Department at 312-747-5789, the FBI Illinois at 312-421-6700, or the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children at 1-800-THE LOST. Names: Diamond and Tionda Bradley. Ages: Diamond, 3 years old, Tionda 10 years old. Last seen, July 6, 2001. Location: Chicago, Illinois. Status: still missing. Case information: the Bradley sisters, 3-year-old Diamond and 10-year-old Tionda, were last seen on July 6, 2001 in Chicago, Illinois. When their mother came home from work, she found a note stating the girls were going to the store and playground. Neither girl has been seen since. Background: at the time of their disappearance, the Bradley family was living in their Bronzeville apartment near 35th and Cottage Grove in Chicago, Illinois. Tracy Bradley, then 32, lived in the apartment with her 4 daughters, Rita, age 12, Tionda, age 10, Victoria, age 9, and Diamond, age 3. Tracy worked at the nearby Robert Taylor Homes apartment complex where she prepared lunch and breakfast for residents. Daughters Rita and Victoria spent the night at their grandmother's house on the night of July 5, 2001. Disappearance. The Bradley sisters, 3-year-old Diamond and 10-year-old Tionda, were last seen at their third-story apartment on the morning of July 6, 2001. Around 6 a.m. on July 6, 2001, Tracy Bradley's boyfriend George came to her apartment to pick her up for work. Before leaving, Tracy gave her daughters, Diamond and Tionda, the same instructions she always gave them: don't go out and do not open the door for anyone. While at work, Tracy called home 3 times between 8:00 to 9 a.m., but no one answered, which was unusual. Phone records show several calls from other numbers to the apartment also went unanswered that morning, as well as 2 hang-ups. At 11:30 a.m. Tracy returned home from work and found a note written by Tionda saying Diamond went out to the store and to the school playground. Neither Diamond or Tionda has been seen since. Tracy started calling neighbors and family, asking if anyone had seen the girls, and soon she and her extended family began searching the neighborhood and surrounding areas for any signs of the girls. After hours of searching with no luck, Tracy reported her daughters missing to the Chicago Police Department just before 7 p.m. Investigation and extensive search of the area and surrounding neighborhood provided no clues as to the girls' whereabouts. The search became the largest missing persons search in Chicago's history, and included the FBI and over 800 tips, all of which led nowhere. Hundreds of Chicago police, FBI, and volunteers spent weeks searching the streets, sewers, abandoned factories and buildings. Dozens of people were interviewed, as well as nearly 100 registered sex offenders, yet their efforts were unsuccessful. On the morning the girls disappeared, Tionda left a voicemail on her mother's cell phone at 8:30 a.m., saying George was at the door. In the voicemail, she asks for permission to let him in. Tracy didn't get this message until after her daughters were already gone. It's not certain who George is. Tracy's boyfriend at the time, who is also Diamond's father, is named George, as well as one of their neighbors who was a part-time babysitter for them. The family believes the note left by Tionda is suspicious. According to their aunt, it was in Tionda's handwriting, but the grammar was too perfect for a girl of her age. They believe she was coached into writing the letter. In addition, Tionda would call her mother and ask if she could go out, not leave a note. The note is in the sealed possession of the FBI. Many people involved in the case have never seen it, and there is no public record of its wording. On July 7, 2001, receipts show that Tracy's boyfriend George bought 42-gallon contractor bags as well as gardening gloves and neoprene gloves. When authorities searched his home, they found 5 bags missing from the roll, and the gardening gloves were nowhere to be found. A neighbor says they saw him burning something in a 55-gallon drum and loading it into the trunk of his car. He denies the burning took place, but FBI reports show evidence of charring on the rafters of his garage. Authorities also found a blanket that had several of Tionda's hairs in the trunk of his car. He claims he took Tracy and her daughters to a drive-in movie shortly before their disappearance, and made the girls hide in the blanket so he wouldn't have to pay their admission. Phone records show he made more than 40 phone calls over a 24-hour period beginning at 4:30 a.m. on July 6, 2001. There are 2 periods in which he made no calls, between 7:00 to 9 a.m. when he dropped Tracy off at work, and from 5:00 to 6:30 p.m. where his phone pinged off cell towers on the far south side of the city, near the forest and the Little Calumet River. George denies being involved in the girls' disappearance. He hired a lawyer after he says he was ganged up on by authorities and the media. Police have not named any suspects in the case, and say all friends, family, and acquaintances remain persons of interest. In 2023, a woman in Texas came forward, claiming to be Diamond Bradley. The FBI has since taken DNA samples, but has told the family results might take up to 6 months. After 12 previous hoaxes and false alarms, the Bradley family says they're cautiously optimistic as they await those DNA results. Timeline change. In 2023, phone records revealed that Tracy Bradley spent the night at her boyfriend George's house on the night of July 5, 2001, leaving Tionda and Diamond alone for much longer than originally reported. Whereabouts, the location of the Bradley sisters, as well as the circumstances surrounding their disappearance, remains unknown. The FBI is offering a reward of $10,000 for information regarding the current whereabouts of Tionda and Diamond Bradley. Appearance: Tionda Bradley was born on January 20, 1991. She has black hair and brown eyes. At the time of her disappearance she stood 4 feet 2 and weighed 70 pounds. She had a burn scar on her left forearm that is about the size of a quarter. She was last seen wearing green ponytail holders and had a scrape on her left calf. She is described as being shy with strangers, and loved to run track and dance. Diamond Bradley was born November 25, 1997. She has black hair and brown eyes. At the time of her disappearance she stood 3 feet 0 tall and weighed 40 pounds. She has a scar on the left side of her scalp and has deep-set eyes. She was last seen wearing purple ponytail holders in her hair. She is described as timid but loves to talk. Investigating Agency. If you have any information regarding the disappearance of Diamond and Tionda Bradley, please contact the Chicago Police Department at 312-747-5789, the FBI Illinois at 312-421-6700, or the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children at 800, The Lost. Tionda Bradley missing since July 6, 2001. Chicago, IL, U.S. Age now 34 years old. Female Diamond Bradley. Missing since July 6, 2001. Chicago, IL, U.S. Age now 27 years old. Female Diamond's photo as shown age progressed to 23 years and Tionda's photo as shown at 30 years. They were last seen in the vicinity of 3526 South Lake Park Avenue in Chicago, Illinois. Diamond has a scar on the left side of her head in her hairline. Tionda has a quarter-sized scar on her left forearm. Chicago PD, Illinois, 1-312-745-5020, or FBI, Illinois, 1-312-421-6700, NCMEC, 915589.
Yeah. Everybody knows that I'm breaking down. Everybody knows I ain't faking now. Everybody knows my heart's vacant now. Yeah, she hates me now, I made mistakes but now I don't ever wanna be alone. I don't really ever feel at home. On my own, in the zone, that's the only way I know. Feeling low, about to blow back up. Here I won't ever let the doubt creep in. Gotta pop a couple more aspirin. I don't think I'll ever let you in. Easier to break it off best friends. I don't really understand myself. I don't really understand, need help. I don't wanna be left on the shelf. Couldn't even hear me if I yelled.
It's so cold outside.